Welcome to Flames Unfiltered, hosted by Brad Burud. Kyle's talking Flames hockey every week. Kyle, good to have you here.
Always a pleasure, even when times are tough.
That doesn't have to wake you up or something there. Like, are you okay?
Well, I just not long ago watched the Minnesota Wild defeat the Dallas Stars and took the wind out of my sails a little bit because despite the fact that I've been emphatically saying we're not making the playoffs, of course, I still want us to make the playoffs. So
me too. I feel like it's like this week's been like alive, dead, alive, and now dead again. And it's like a teeter-totter this week. It's been crazy. I guess like last night when after the game got over and I was heading to bed, all I could think of was like, at least we're like still watching like meaningful hockey. So there's probably a lot to be happy with, I guess.
Yeah, for the most part. We've highlighted that fact quite a few times, which is, it's funny when you mention it like on X and stuff because other fans are like, oh, we're doing so much better than we're supposed to. It's like, we're not saying we don't appreciate what's gone on. That's not the point at all. In fact, it entirely misses the point. The point is it sucks to be so close and likely miss out, right?
The Colorado game, this week, since we last talked, we beat Colorado in a shootout 3-2. A game that, oh man, the Flames had no chance. I thought they barely touched the puck the first 50 minutes of the game, like literally barely touched it. Somehow the fourth line drags us out of the mud and gets a goal for Lomberg and Klapka. Can't believe I'm saying that, to send us to a shootout, and then Sharon Govich of all people scores. And we get our 2 points, and so all of our hopes are back there, right? I mean, everything's good. I thought I felt better. Didn't you feel better?
Moderately. I'm like, what's the right word for this? Yeah, moderately. I mean, it's been such a yo-yo, like you said, roller coaster, right?
Well, then Utah, and I'm like, okay, like this should be a win. And then we it's a normal Utah performance. This team. They're awful against Utah, and it just goes out, and it's 3-1, and it's super lost points. And this is a night I kind of was like, all right, we're dead. We're dead.
Yep.
That night really hurt. We had the goal. I don't know. You want to get into let's talk about the Anaheim game first, and then we'll talk about the crazy goal stuff. But then Anaheim comes to the Dome and we handle them in a game where it was 4-1. So it was like, we weren't scrambling at the end like we usually do. And a little too late. Were you feeling that also?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kadri scored 15 seconds into the game or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a good omen. Not something we're used to at all. If we had more of that, we'd be in a playoff spot, quite frankly.
Oh, and then every time we score 4 goals, and then last night against Vegas, we get down 2-0, and I do the obligatory tweet where I said I would love to have faith that we could score more than 2 tonight, but I don't think we can. And I wanted to
be wrong
tweet later and say I'm an idiot, I'm wrong, but that didn't happen. As we get goals from Hanley and Coronado, tie the game, but in overtime, just a goofy goal off. It hit off Uyghur and then over the shoulder of Wolf from behind the net, and just not good. Not good.
No. It's that was a tough one to swallow. Really tough one to swallow, because especially after the first period where Vegas just dominated them. It's like, oh, okay, we know this is going to go, and then they fought back, of course, and I guess that's a great segue, because we just have horrible puck luck.
The hockey gods have not been in the Flames' favor this year.
I take a little bit of issue with that term, probably because I'm so sick of it with regards to the Flames, but it's like, and not to shut on you because everybody says it and I've said it, but it's like, we keep talking about the hockey gods, and it's just like, man, like, it's
time out. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe the hockey gods haven't been in our favor the last couple weeks, but we've had a lot of positives this year that we've went over those, and will again when the season is done. But this goal line stuff is maddening.
Well, and that's the thing. Most of the hockey god usage pertains to pucks going in, pucks not going in, weird bounces, stuff of that nature. I mean, we have a lot of positives this year, but when it comes to like incremental things that change the course of a game, we have had the worst luck, bar none, of any team in all of hockey, never mind professional hockey. And I'd love for somebody to show me a team with worse luck. Like, find me one, junior, college, Bantam AAA. I don't care. Throw it at me.
I want to talk about the goal line thing because it had me fired up. Like, I will agree, based off the footage that I saw, I had a hard time seeing white between the line. But I need to preface that with the comment that has me shaking my head the most this week. This is a multi-billion-dollar league. These cameras are 4 feet from the ice. This is the best we can do for technology. Why is it so blurry? Like, I'm pretty sure if I tape my iPhone to the top of the crossbar that we'd get better.
I'm certain. Wait, hang on. What version of the iPhone do you have?
I don't know. I'm cheap. Like, probably a 13. I don't know.
All right, I got a 15. We'll use mine.
Okay. Well, I mean, my 13 is going to be better than that.
Oh, guaranteed.
I asked my wife, I'm like, are we like using, like, I asked her if we were using her grandma's 98 years old. I said, and she still uses those like freaking disposable cameras. And I said, are we using your grandma's disposable camera on top of these nets here? Like, why is this so bad? Like, how can it be so grainy and so crappy?
Yeah. But even then, and let me jump in on this, because even then, as crappy as it is, we can still see white around the entire circumference of the puck. We can still see it. Like, and that's been the case with the last couple. Now, I realize some are inconclusive. Now, Ryan Pinder made a funny comment, about the Flames are like the very best at getting like the puck like 1 millimeter over the goal line or something to that effect. And it's true. It's like, man, like, can you just shoot the puck over these pads? Quit jamming it into the pad. Because now, like, there's this, we may as well call it the flame zone. What does that mean? Well, it means a little, piece of ice between the goalie's toes and the goal line. Because we find it every goddamn time.
Oh, we do. Like, I thought the one in Utah was a little bit more like over the line. Last night's, maybe I wasn't so mad last night because I thought, well, that's going to be goalie interference, even if they're not calling this one. We're in the crease. It's not going to get called.
There's so many. I can't distinguish which one was from which game. I don't know anymore. That's how bad it's gotten.
I know. It's the Dallas game, the Utah game, the Vegas game. And the cameras are equally crappy in multiple arenas.
Yeah, I think they got a bulk buy. I went to Costco for those cameras and they should have returned them.
Well, they went to like Temu, or what's that website that everybody
it's T. I bought a bunch of stuff off Temu once and literally threw it all out. Every bit of it was garbage. I bought some good stuff on there too, but there was one order that I threw the entire thing out. It was the biggest waste of money ever.
I have not ventured down that road yet.
Oh, don't waste your time or your money for that matter.
Oh.
Lord.
You want to talk about the playoff race before we get into the other
stuff?
Yeah.
The more certain stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, yeah, sure. I mean, we need to, of course, because it kind of makes me think of the Simpsons when Homer's Krusty the Clown and he's doing the children's birthday party and they're beating up the Hamburglar. And they're beating him up, and Ralph's crying. He's like, "Stop! He's already dead." And it's like, that's how I kind of feel about the Flames. Like, we're just reaching and reaching, and if you look at the math, it's quite conceivable it can happen.
Yes,
but it's going to require a lot. We have to go like 6-0, right? That's basically what we have to do.
Well, I don't know. Let's dive into this a little more. First of all, I want to say, like, did anybody see St. Louis rolling off 12 straight? Because that's who we were chasing. Our team has won 6-2-2 and have lost 8 points to them. No, not that many.
We reached the stage of delirium because we're laughing at how ridiculous this is.
We've lost. Oh, it's a ton. Like, seriously, like Edmonton's more in our reach than St. Louis is. Mind-blowing.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I work with a guy who's a huge Blues fan. I think I mentioned before, Sean, and he's like just having the time of his life with this, right? And what a time for a team to get hot. I mean, if they've been in a playoff spot to carry the momentum into a playoff round, it'd be fantastic. But yeah, they're
waiting for the wheels to fall off, and I don't know that they are going to fall off, but
they finally put it all together, and they're a pretty deep team anyway. So good for them.
Yeah, I mean they're rolling, but right now as it stands, Calgary sits. Minnesota's the only team we can catch. We're 6 back, and Minnesota holds the tiebreaker. Now we do have 2 games in hand, and we are recording this on Sunday afternoon. So Sunday in the Western Conference is pretty much gone. That matters. Minnesota did beat Dallas today, 3-2 in overtime, and that's 2 points for Minnesota. That I can't say nail in the coffin, but like the coffin's closed. We're just waiting to nail it down. Is that bad to say?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Now, Minnesota, what does Minnesota have left? So they play Wednesday, San Jose, Friday in Calgary. Then they go to Vancouver. They have Anaheim to end the season. So they have 4 games left.
Yep. And
Calgary has 6 games left, which include some very favorable matchups. Let's see here. We got, what date are we on here? I'm a week ahead of it. We've got Monday nights in San Jose, Wednesday night in Anaheim, Minnesota, the big game we talked about Friday, and then San Jose, Vegas, and LA. Some more winnable games, but then a couple of really tough guys too.
The problem is the Minnesota game is going to be tight, and it's going to turn into a 3-point game is my fear.
I would be willing to bet that there's more chance of that being a 3-point game than a 2-point game. And if it becomes a 3-point game, we're done.
100%. Yeah.
We're done.
Absolutely have to beat them in regulation. And then remind everything else you just listed that has to go right. So
now I think we would have to win all the other games. We could probably lose one more game, not the Minnesota game.
Yeah, but just imagine if we didn't. How cool would that be? Right? Right?
Great. I mean, it'd be great. I'm sitting here and I don't want to say either one of us are being negative about this. I think probably realists about this is probably.
Man, we've been so much more negative than this. This is nothing. This is borderline positive.
We've been positive about this team the last couple of weeks. And how, and honestly, let's talk about that. We're 6-2-2, and we've had good goaltending. We've had a slight uptick in scoring. I can't say a slight, ever so slight.
Oh, yeah, big time.
But I do have a bit of bad news. Is Money Puck, who's, I don't know if it's accurate or not. I like thinking it is. It's not good today, boy. It just went down to 8.9%. It's got Minnesota
taking those odds in Vegas. Oof.
It's got Minnesota at 91.3 and Calgary dropped to 8.9%. To our friendly fans over in Vancouver, you're at 1.3. So good luck with that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reality is, look how much those percentages change if Calgary wins their next game in regulation. Minnesota loses theirs in regulation, right?
Isn't that something, though? It will.
It'll swing big time.
We'll go to 25%. We'll go to 25% with those 2 points.
Yeah.
Because Minnesota, if they lose their next game, they only have 3 remaining after that.
Yeah.
I always look at this. I think I put out a message this week. I'm sick of hearing the word games in hand, too.
Actually, I meant to ask you because I didn't even look. What is the tiebreaker that Minnesota holds?
More wins. They currently, if I look at the standings, they have 42 wins. We have 36 wins.
Yeah. See, this is again, and if you look it up, actually, I'm going to look this up right now. But this is, somebody mentioned this on X. I forget who it was now, but how, remember when the Flames were awesome in overtime during the Gaudreau years?
Yeah.
Like, awesome. Well,
we're pretty good this year.
Overtime. Oh, my Lord. It's just as I suspected. It's worse than I suspected. Calgary's tied for the most overtime shootout losses in the league with Vancouver.
Really?
Yep, 13. So they're tied with all the playoff teams in the
Oh yeah,
West.
we are. Like I got it right in front of me here.
Okay, this is a really interesting stat, actually, and may come as no surprise to people who pay more attention than I do, evidently. But every single team in a playoff spot in both conferences is single-digit overtime shootout losses. The Canadians have 9, for example. The Capitals have 9. Everybody, like that's unbelievable.
Hey, is it bad for me to say that when I look at that 13 on there, that I'm this year like, oh man, at least we got a point.
But that's what I said in the last show. And I'm going to point at you for those of you watching on YouTube. So this is really emphatic of me. The Flames did it again. I brought this up in the last show, and again last night they lose to Vegas and Calgary. What do you think they tweeted, Brad? What they post on Facebook? Got a point. It's not good enough.
Again,
it's
the
not good enough.
I mean, points matter. 2 points matter, not 1. I mean, you know what?
You can't have 13 shootout overtime losses. You can't.
I'll defend him in this one and this. If Minnesota loses today, a point last night would have worked. Wouldn't have been ideal, would have worked.
You still can't have 13 of them. It's brutal. Brutal.
I know.
I've never slammed my fist on my desk during this show. That's how angry I am about this.
So how do you
well, you should have got
so like we sit here, like, I mean, if you're the coaching staff and you're seeing that, like, what are you saying? Are you saying, like, are you happy as a coaching staff that we're in that many games? Or are you like, why are we not winning in overtime? You know, I'll tell you why we're not winning in overtime. We don't have superstars.
Well, yeah, and the other problem, I think, is that they're playing for the extra frame way too often because they don't have the offense.
We do that all the time.
I don't have I don't have the stat right here, but I think if you look, Calgary's probably played as many or close to as many overtime games as anybody else this year. They keep trying to hang on to that tie to get that first point, and it's a terrible strategy. But like you said, you don't have the star power to win out overtime.
But I mean, half of the thing is just hang on, let's get a point. Like, that's the attitude. Like, it is.
It's terrible. Can you imagine? We almost saw the antithesis of that last night if Backlund had been able to score on that breakaway.
He was so gassed. Like, I'm not defending him because I didn't think he was very good last night. You know who else I did not think was good last night? And this is very rare, and I'm definitely not going to pick on him because I'm a big fan of his lately. Coleman looked atrocious last night.
Coming off one of his best games of the season in the game
prior. I know. Is that not crazy? Like, he just couldn't even skate.
No.
And Backlund, when he did get that breakaway, he was so gassed, and I thought, oh, there's no way he's scoring this.
Oh yeah, not even a chance.
He was,
yeah. Klapka was really good. Conversely, Klapka's been really good lately.
Let's talk about the fourth line. So we get an outburst of the fourth line. Colorado, we get basically 2 points in Colorado when we had no business, and the fourth line was out there like literally every other shift. And last night I was like, is it just me or is the fourth line out every other shift? And we almost got burned because of it too, because they were not as good last night. But Klapka, I do think, has been very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
I mean, he's massive, right? But his ability to use his size to protect the puck has been just phenomenal to watch.
So if I told you that he's our fourth line right winger next season, are you upset? I'm good with it.
I'm super happy about it.
Yeah. How about if I told you Rooney's our fourth line center?
No. Now, granted, he has been much better in the last week.
Yes,
but it's too little, too late. He's not getting younger. We have better options in the system. Time to move on. And then at Lomberg, I said this in the last show. I like Lomberg. I love what he brings to the locker room and most nights to the team. But I don't think he should be playing all 82 games.
I'm fine having him on the roster, but he's got to be an up and down guy, and we're paying him too much to be an up and down guy. Like I still look at that salary and I'm like,
yeah.
I know he won a cup.
Yeah, lots of guys won cups, right?
He didn't even play every game in the finals. Like, I don't know. We were quick to open the pocketbook on that one, though, weren't we?
Yes, and I understand why, because they're looking for some guidance for the younger players. But still, it's that fourth line, despite how much better they've been, Klapka's the reason it's been so much better in my mind.
He's been a game changer. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying a fourth liner is a game changer, but he's been very good. And I've actually like tentatively penciled him into the fourth line next year. I don't like him in any other spot. I don't think he's like gonna like become a third line winger that scores for us. I don't think that, but I like what he's bringing to the table.
I could see him maybe ascending to the third line if he continues to play well, but it's not something that I'm expecting necessarily. I mean, ever since he had his conversation with Joe McGinley about 5-6 weeks ago, he definitely turned a corner as a player. Yeah, but he's an asset now. He's an important asset to this team, which previously we weren't really sure what he was. So we'll take it.
How much do you miss Connor Zary?
A lot. Did you see me tweet last night that I missed him?
Yeah, that's why I brought it up, dude.
Okay, that's what I thought. Hey, listen, like part of that also stems from Frost and Farabee. Frost in particular has just completely disappeared.
Do you think he's disappeared?
I'm not at all happy with this game of late. I don't think he's bringing much to the table at all.
I feel like he's like super dynamic, but for some reason it just never. He had a game, I can't remember, was it the Anaheim game that he hit the post like 5 times, or was that the Colorado? One of the games, maybe it was last week. Maybe I'm a week off, but there was a game I know he just like hit the post like 3 times. He was all over the place. He was really good, and this guy fits in perfectly with this team. He struggles to score. Like he's there. He's making plays. He's creating chances. He just is snake bit right now on converting, right?
Yeah, big time. Well, I mean, a lot of the team is, right? Huberdeau's gone ice cold, had a terrible, terrible time.
Yes, and he had a chance. I think it was last night's game. He had a chance early on and should have shot and ended up dishing off. And I'm just like, oh, you can't dish off there. You have to shoot that puck. This team can't score. We need to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. I was really excited for him to hit 30 goals. I don't see it happening now, but we'll see.
Talk though that Zary could be back by the end of the regular season. I don't know. I don't know what's good right now. I almost feel like shelving him. And
well, that's kind of what I said last week. That's kind of where I sit on him. I mean, I don't. Unless you're going to be in the playoffs and comes back before the start of the playoffs, I'm not really interested in seeing another regular season version of Zary. I'd rather him rest.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
As much as I miss him, I don't feel it's worth the risk at this point. But that's up to the team, of course. Speaking of up to the team, so they have made numerous moves and decisions of late. The first one that we should jump on is Idar Suniev, Russian prospect, has signed as with the team, wearing Forever Flame Zach Ronaldo's number 36. Do you think that we see him in a game before the end of the season?
No.
Okay.
Gosh, that's awful to say that, isn't it? Because I want to. I want to.
Awful.
I feel like we're going to be 4 points. You know, maybe it'll be a Dustin Wolf scenario where the last game against LA, he gets in, right? Like, yeah. I feel like this team all year has just stayed just at that level where there's hope, right? Yeah. And I've wanted that because believe me, I'm leading the line for wanting to be in the playoffs, right? Like we can't tank now. We don't have any time. So like we might as well try to get in the playoffs. And boy, I'm praying for a miracle this week. But I don't see I don't know. From what I've seen this year with Huska and his decisions, I highly doubt it. He puts in a 2023 third round pick in who is, how old is this kid? 20 years old, 19 years, 20? He's 20.
20, yep.
I don't know. I mean, maybe the last game, but I guess we'll see. I mean, he's exactly 2 years younger than Coronado. Like Coronado came in at the exact same point. It'll be interesting. You know, it'll be interesting to see where this kid goes, but they're burning a year of his ELC right away. I don't know whether that's good or bad. I guess I've heard arguments on both sides there.
Yeah, but the thing is about ELC is whether or not you're burning a year. Typically it's kind of frowned upon because people worry about development and more so about burning up, you know, one of those cheap contract years. But I think in a case like Suniev, who is really, really good along the boards, really crafty player, I think because they have such a glut of prospects now and more coming, they want to fast track what they have in him. Because he's been with the organization a little bit longer than some of the other, you know, shiny new toys that we have. So it doesn't really bother me, but I mean, I think the fact that they brought him in, I think they do intend on playing him, but probably only in the context of once they're eliminated from contention, because they want experienced guys like the others who are already in the team playing until such time as the games no longer matter. Much like you said about Dustin Wolf when he came in, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that I don't know. I mean, I almost feel like I would have been happy to see him last night, but I guess I'd be to throw him into. But I don't know. He was a really good player for UMass, and the last guy I remember coming out of the league or coming out of UMass stepped into the league was Cale McCarr. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth a look. The other big name, and I'm not going to say I broke this because Elliot Friedman's already been talking about it, of course. But I did confirm today, and by the time this drops, it'll likely be well known that Zane Parekh is joining the Flames and is traveling. I don't know if he's traveling to meet them in Calgary or to meet them in San Jose, but he is going to be joining the team for the remainder of the season. There's a lot of hype around him. Some people are being a bit dismissive about it. Some people might be overhyping him. But if you watch this kid play, like, there's a reason he's the first defenseman in the OHL since Bobby Orr to have back-to-back 30-goal seasons. And if you watch the way he skates and the way he can get away from people and protect the puck, it's otherworldly. Defensively, he's got a lot to learn and a long ways to go. But he could come in, slot in next to one of the more experienced guys and really make an immediate impact, in my eyes anyway.
I'm super excited to see him. I mean, he's 19 years old. I'd love to see him in games here. And I guess my take on I think it's going to be a good experience to have him up with the team. And I'm super excited that you got the inside info today that he was headed to Calgary. And then I sit and I think about this and I'm like, I worry about his defense. We want to calm a little bit of the hype and the fact that, like, hey, we can't forget that he did struggle pretty much all of preseason. But yet I also look at that as a step in his development, right? And he went this year and had another unbelievably good season. Just an unbelievably good season. And I sit and I look at it and I'm like, wow, let's put him in right away. Because, like, what's the worst that can happen? Because defensively, we haven't been all that great to start with. So I'm totally okay with maybe risking a little bit of his defensive flaws for his huge offensive upside.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, his ability to make everybody around him better, right?
Exactly. I mean, he is so dynamic with the puck, and how much he could help our power play with some time, of course. I know he's not going to step in and just be a power play wizard, but like just with some time and with some fine tuning to the NHL level, I mean, the sky's the limit for this guy, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, I would take it a step further. I think he actually could possibly step in and make an immediate impact on the power play, like kind of like Lane Hudson's done in Montreal, who scored just an unbelievable, awful angle goal yesterday. Like, what a shot! But as far as Parekh goes, like he really is that damn good, and he did have a long look in camp. But when a player doesn't make the team and clearly struggles in certain situations, the best statement you can make is go back to junior and absolutely dominate, and that's exactly what he did.
Exactly what he did. And I'm going to defend him in another thing too. When you're a first round pick in a Canadian market, you get an unfair criticism, or you get either praised to a level that's too high if you do well, and you get totally destroyed if you struggle. You just totally do. The expectations are so overinflated by the media and fan bases that I felt like he got a bad rap and with the first time he came through in camp. And I hope he took and understood what all happened, so that and he did exactly what the team asked him to do. That was go out and have a good year in the OHL and totally dominated. And I'm ready and I'm excited. I'm excited to watch him, and I've got a place for him, and so does our X Factor here. As I bring that up, as Jacy says, get Jake Bean off my team. I've seen enough. Bring up a Wrangler. Anyone else? Hey, Jacy, I've got the guy for you right here.
Yeah, right.
I think this week a lot of people's frustration boiled over with some of our defensive, and not just Jake Bean. I mean, that's probably not fair, but there was just been I saw moves this week that Anderson did that I threw my remote in the air, and our defense looks damn tired. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100% they do. And it's interesting too because I don't know if like because Bean's had a 2-year contract that he gets all the leash he gets.
I think
Yeah,
so.
like
I think so. I think they're like, oh boy, we got this guy next year. We're gonna have to just keep signing him out.
yeah, I don't really know because like Tyson Berry got banished forever. Tyson Berry's not coming back to the NHL. You know, now his struggles were a little less subtle because of his lack of foot speed, but Jake Bean is. I'm curious what play Jacy is referring to there, but they thank you for the X Factor, by the way. I don't really know. I don't know why this guy keeps getting chance after chance. And I don't want to come down to, I mean, I don't play pro hockey, so I don't want to come down too hard on anybody on the team, right? But it's interesting for sure.
It is one thing. Like when we criticize a player here, like it's like we get it. Like this is a professional hockey league. This is tough stuff here. But we also get it too that, you got to demand excellence in the National Hockey League too, right? I mean, it's a two-way street. I have the utmost respect for every player that suits up for the National Hockey League and could only dream of it myself, right? And it was just dreams, literally dreams. But there is struggle points and there is things where players have on the goods and the bads, and I don't know. I think it's all part of the learning process of building a team, right? And who's going to fit in for the future and who's not.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, it's interesting too, because as far as this team goes, there's been a few standouts, obviously, and there's a lot of these players like Bean that were kind of plugged in to, take a spot, help this team through its development curve. And now they've become almost detrimental in some cases, especially when you have guys like Parekh who are, getting ready to come up, maybe play a few games, or other guys we've talked about with the Wranglers who haven't got a shot yet, or didn't get much of a shot, a la Solovoyov. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens to some of these guys. Is it, does Bean get banished to the Wranglers? Does he not make the team out of camp?
I would hope he doesn't, and I'm not only because if he does, then I feel like we're either holding somebody back or we didn't make the proper moves in the offseason to shore up our defense.
Well, and that's the thing. And I like I said before, I was a big fan of signing Jake Bean. I wish it was done a year prior when he signed in Columbus, but it hasn't panned out, at least to this point. So these pieces that are brought in to kind of fill in gaps, presumably we start to move on from them as these younger guys start to take places or make other moves in the summer, right? So I don't know what the next step in the progression looks like because we all thought we knew what it was going to look like this year, and then Dustin Wolf decided to be a star goalie, and it's been nothing like what we thought. We're still talking about playoffs, and it's literally, we're past the first week of April. Like, it's wild.
For all the criticism that this team's getting for being in this position, it's like, guys, hello. If Dustin Wolf doesn't do this, yes, we are a tanking team.
Yeah.
But I sure would rather have a good goalie than tanking team. We lose that.
Yeah, and our we'll call them star players, our best players have been just that most of the year, and two of them in particular have taken to social media of late, and I want to touch on that too because it's kind of funny because it happened again last night with Nazem Kadri. Did you see that?
I did not. Fill me in here.
Okay, so the first one, because we're going to keep this chronological, was Mackenzie Weegar coming aboard Rhett Warner after he made some comments about Weegar's game and speed and all that kind of thing. So Weegar shot back on X. The second thing that happened, and I'm not really overly concerned with the details. I gave you kind of a rough rundown of it. But the second thing that happened was that Sportsnet made a comment about like an 8 or 9 year rivalry between Nazem Kadri and Cgy Col.
I saw that. I thought there has no basis to that at all.
I don't really get it. And then apparently Kadri doesn't either because Kadri responded on Instagram, seriously, let it go, guys. All right, so here's the thing. We love stories, and we love stories of professional sports, and we love rivalries. But when, broadcasts are that maybe desperate to find something to hone in on, to make something out of nothing, these guys are pro hockey players. They're going to do it all the time. They get, probably 10 to 20 years of playing against each other once they've made it to the show. Like, I am certain that neither Kadri nor Eichel cared at all about anything that went on between them in the past. So this was something absolutely egregious that I don't remember. Like, it's kind of dumb, and Cgy called them out on it. And I do like the fact that the leadership core of this team, guys like Uyghur and Cgy, have been outspoken and responded to those avenues. Like, guys, like, this is stupid. Or in Uyghur's case, like, seriously?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's crazy.
We got a lot of character at the top of this team, and I guess what I'll say is I hope that these guys, because in Uyghur will be one for sure, I hope these guys are around to experience some success with the younger players that are going to be leading this team in the future, because they do deserve that. And as much as this season has been predicated on really strong goaltending to get us here, there have been strong performances from the older guys in this team, and all those guys deserve to have a first-round playoff matchup. So somehow, some way, I hope that happens.
Yes. Let's touch base on some NHL news. And one thing that we definitely need to talk about today is Alex Ovechkin breaking Wayne Gretzky's record here this afternoon on a Sunday afternoon as he scores 895. And I was so happy to see that it was a goal. That was a good goal. No controversy, no nothing.
Well, he doesn't play for the Flames, so don't worry about it.
I didn't go over the line or something silly like that. But what a cool moment. I don't know. It was fun. I wasn't huge into watching every game of the race, but I did see the tying goal live, and I did see the game winner today live on TV, and it was fun. It was fun, and it was about as good as you can get a record goal like that. And I remember sitting I remember exactly where Gretzky was when he scored his against Vancouver, and I remember all that. So I'm sure I'll remember this Ovi goal like that too. Now he's got a ways to go as most goals all time, including playoffs. Did you know he's still behind Gretzky on that? Gretzky's got 1,016. He's got 966, and he's quite a bit behind on the points thing. But we're not talking about him being the best points. Yeah. We're talking about him being the best pure goal scorer, and what an accomplishment and what an honor.
Yeah, you can't points can't be broken because hockey's just changed too much in my mind, at least. The goals, I didn't think it would be broken, but Ovechkin's just been that damn good, and the way that he scores doesn't require him to be the fastest guy. It doesn't require a lot of creativity. He just rips pucks, and he does it better than anybody else ever has. So now the question becomes, does he, and I'll ask you this, do you think he hits 900 this season?
What is that, 5 more to go? And it'd be a tough. I think he's gonna. I don't think he'll get that this year. I think that'll be next year.
It's funny how many Coors Lights he had post game, because I saw him drinking one in the locker room after.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. I think he'll tone down now. I do. I think it was such a push, right?
Well, it's five goals in 5 games. It's not unthinkable.
No, it's definitely not unthinkable.
Yeah.
I gotta pick your mind on 2 things here before we go. So Patrick Waugh rips Anthony Duclair, says he is god awful. He had a bad game. That's why I don't play him a lot, and he's lucky to be in the lineup. Sorry if I lose it on him right now, but that's how I feel. How do you feel about that? Like, I've had my things I've liked about Patrick Waugh and the things I don't like about Patrick Waugh. I don't know. These are professional athletes. I think we got to be honest, though, right?
Side note, Patrick Waugh is part owner of the Quebec Remparts, who just got swept by my Moncton Wildcats, so that was cool. But Patrick Waugh, I like how honest he is, because I think the game lacks that in a lot of cases. And I do feel that his criticism, they weren't like John Tortorella, where I find Tortorella like way too abrupt and just shitty to his players in some instances. And Daryl Sutter was guilty of that too with Peltier, which we talked about at length in the past. I thought Waugh's criticisms were likely valid. It sounds like Duclair agreed with him, which is why they agreed to some time apart. Because usually this goes one of 2 ways. Either the player falls in line with what the coach wants, or the player gets moved out or the coach gets fired, right? I guess 3 ways.
They're not firing Patrick Waugh for Anthony Duclair.
No, but I like the fact that in this case, it sounds like both men took a fairly mature approach to a problem and agreed to some space. And I think on Patrick Waugh's part, that's a pretty mature approach as a coach, despite the fact he's known for being hot-headed and perhaps short-tempered. I'm not saying everything he said was like things you really want to share with the media.
I know.
But I think it was fairly respectful, and I didn't take many major issue with it. I do think that people these days are way too soft in
way too
fast,
soft.
Yeah, in so many different ways. And I also don't want to advocate for that toxic masculinity hockey culture of, sucking everything up and
No,
not letting them deal with things. That's the opposite end. We don't want that either. But I think it's good that they can say their piece and Duclair hopefully comes, because Duclair's a good hockey player. Hopefully comes back motivated, and they can continue their working relationship.
Did you see the fight between Carolina and Washington the other night where Chatfield did the old leg kick, smashed the guy down?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that?
Don't like it.
I didn't either. I'm all about fighting. I'm all about guys squaring off head on. But when you start swinging your legs and kicking and
very, very, very dangerous. Very dangerous.
I didn't like it.
No, nothing about it to like, quite frankly.
Didn't like it.
But things to like. We still have some, as we've said. It's been a pretty interesting season, and if the playoffs are indeed under reach, like they mathematically appear that they will be soon, we do have lots of things to look forward to. And Trevor Neufeld on X is a really great follow. He fought, he's one of those guys I think just had enough, and he kind of I shouldn't say lashed out, but he called out a good portion of the fan base and basically said, if you're not enjoying this, you're part of the problem, right?
Yep.
This whole team tank thing, it's just, you should be enjoying this. You should find it fun. You should be excited to see Minnesota lost or anything of that nature that gives Calgary a chance. Because ultimately, again, as we talked about last week, Brad, we can't, and you said it again today, we can't tank. It's too far gone.
Yeah.
You may as well hope for the best.
We can't tank when you have one of the best goalies in the league. It's kind of hard.
No. Dustin Wolf is tank proof.
Oh,
I'd love to see. No, okay. I wouldn't want to see this. I just said I'd love to see, but I wouldn't. But I'd be curious to see a scenario where Dustin Wolf was the goaltender for the San Jose Sharks. He's a California kid, but I wonder how many more points they would have with Wolf in net.
12.
I was going to guess 10. I like that. Yeah. Great minds, Brad. Great minds.
Yeah. So where are we at in your money fund? We got to get you some money this week. Gotta get you some money here. 2305. We need to get you to 3.
Yeah, it's kind of the last push for that too. So I mean, I've got to do more of my part to collect some more cash, but it's gone really well so far, and the team's actually done really well. Because we're
getting there,
right? So yeah, my actual regular playing season is done in a few weeks, and then I'm off the ice other than a couple practices until that weekend. So
I'll be hitting the links hard this week, or getting the links on social media. We got to get Kyle to the 3,000. I want to see video of him in a shootout. Let's get him up to 3,000. He's at 2305 right now. The fundraiser is in support of the Heart and Stroke Foundation in New Brunswick. It's going to be fun for Kyle, but it's also going to be fun to watch, and it's also for a great, great cause as we help out the Heart and Stroke Foundation.
Yeah, much appreciated the plugging as always, and thanks to everybody who's donated so far. It's a really cool opportunity. You can also check the Heart and Stroke Hockey Heroes website to see all the alumni that are playing, because I would take me a while to list them all. It's a pretty cool list, though.
Alrighty, we'll update on that again next week. Please, if you have extra funds, shoot them that way. We'll put up the link, and we appreciate that. This week for the Flames, Monday, Calgary has a San Jose, must 2 points. Wednesday in Anaheim, another must 2 points. Friday at home against the Minnesota Wild, the only team we can possibly catch. Another must 2 points. And then on Sunday, we can't have it be a letdown as San Jose comes to town. Another must 2 points. Get the picture on how that works there, Kyle?
I pretty well got her down, Pat. Focus for the week.
I have no idea what this week will bring. I have no idea. I have no idea. I'd love to see wins. I'd love to see 8 points. How does that sound?
I'd love to see 8 points and the Wild just get dummied night after night.
Oh man, it would be, I will tell you this. I live in North Dakota. I live right next door to Minnesota. The Minnesota Vikings notorious for fumbling it down the end, down the stretch, and finding a way to not make the playoffs or lose. Minnesota Twins, same exact thing. And come on, Minnesota Wild, please do me a favor. Carry on the Minnesota loser tradition, please.
Join your cousins.
Oh, all right, Flames fans. As we go today, a new band we're going to have to listen to, Small Town Strip Club, a Canadian alternative band out of Stratford, Ontario. You can watch them live on April 17th in Stratford at the Rotary Complex, and in London on the 19th at the Palisade. This is a good new young band from Canada. Hope you enjoy it. Flames fans, have a good week. Come on, 8 points. We need them. We need them. Kyle, have a good week. Always fun talking with you.
We will keep it interesting till the very end. The bitter end.
Take care, Flames fans.
See you guys.
So you want the best bang for your buck? Big brute bouncers don't blink twice before they're up you up. Rather cut a check that's fat than a check that's clean. Everyone's trying to make ends meet.
Thanks for listening to Flames Unfiltered with Brad Burud and Kyle Lewis. Your source for unfiltered Calgary Flames hockey talk. Keep it locked on flamesunfiltered.ca. Subscribe where you get all your podcasts to never miss an episode. Flames hockey talk every week, presented by Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.